Analysis Paralysis by 4 Year Strong. This is the Worcester, Massachusetts outfit's 6th studio album. It arrives the 9th of August via Pure Noise Records. Analysis Paralysis consists of 12 tracks, Sam, and is the follow-up to 2020's Brain Pain LP. So like 2 albums in a row with similar naming conventions. The quartet focused on integrating every element of Analysis Paralysis into an overarching theme of discomfort, from the songs themselves to the dizzying music video for pre-release single Daddy of Mine. Look no further than the album's visceral cover art, an unsettling photo of a dead-eyed stuffed dog, and if you have laid your eyes on the album artwork, that dog is fucking creepy.
Dog is fucked.
They captured that magic 100% there.
Yeah.
What intrigues us as music fans is being challenged and hearing those head-turning moments when you're at the edge of your seat wondering what's going to happen next. I don't need everyone to hear one of our songs and think it's amazing. What would bother me is if people hear it and go, it's whatever, which is how we've reviewed countless albums on the show. And here we are.
And here we are. A 16-year-old me drew a line in the sand and said, a day to remember, 4 years strong, and I was like, a day to remember till I die.
It is funny.
And this is hard shade. We've had a hard shift recently.
It is funny. I mean, I think it gives credit to some strong singles here really roping us in, and there being some enthusiasm on our part to hear this record. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying it in the year of Lord 2024, but like I was actively enthusiastic about the upcoming 4 Year Strong album.
Couldn't wait to hear this, honestly. On the back of Bad Habit and Uncooked, I was like, this is a band that I completely do not recognize, but I fuck with very heavily.
This album hit our inbox and I started rubbing my hands together.
Sure,
I cannot believe those words.
Which is why I always, and I've said this on the show multiple times, stick with bands far after I've like lost my enthusiasm for them, because I feel like they're only ever an album away from getting me back. And then we get something like this and like suddenly I'm like, holy shit. You know, as far as I'm concerned, 4 Year Strong has never been a better band than they are on this record. Not even close.
And when it was all said and done and I finished this record, I ended up feeling pretty great about it overall.
I loved it. I think it's a lot of fun. I feel like they kind of painted it in a light that made it sound like this was sort of like somehow dour and like at least its conceptual nature and like the lyricism. But overall, I have a fucking blast with this record. Like, it's just a lot of fucking like thick little bassy riffs and like fuzzy guitars, simple like sing-along hooks. And that's the vast majority of this record, and it works every goddamn time.
Yeah, I think that lyrically, that's probably the most average thing here. And I say that not disrespectfully. There's nothing super truly like introspective happening.
It's important,
especially from like
way,
you know, challenging yourself and trying to break free of the brain freeze. And it ends up just having like fine lyrics. There's some good lines in here, but it's not all, you know.
I think that's a specific decision on the band's end to keep things uncomplicated.
It seems
so that
intentional.
you could sort of enjoy and sing along to it. And I think they really like fucking knock it out of the park in that aspect, because this is the most fun I've had with 4 Year Strong in a decade. Most fun I've had with them all year, to be completely honest.
Starts off fun as hell, aftermath/afterthought. It's a real chunky song. Bad Habit, maybe it's me, all good sing-alongs. Uncooked is really where my interest really started to rise for this album.
It's reminiscent of Turnstile to me, and I'm assuredly people have pointed that out as well in the past. But there's something about that faded out kind of like pop punk that is sort of like 90s reminiscent that works incredibly well for me. I like the slight heaviness of Daddy of Mine. I think the slightly more somber STFIL is maybe the standout track on this record.
It really is.
Just hiding there in the back end of that deep cut that I think is absolutely incredible.
I think that song actually kicks off probably my favorite quarter of this record. I really think it ends on a lot of its strongest material, and I think it's banger after banger after banger at the end there into Roller Coaster, which really leads into those like 90s sounds that this band was talking earlier about.
Right, this like alternative like pop punk.
Better Get Better is just an earworm that absolutely just drills itself into your brain.
The more I sit here and think about these songs and like discuss them out with you, I do realize that yes, maybe I have picked up on the maybe like more dowered nature of a lot of the songs and the sort of like attitude like being displayed in them, even if a lot of the riffs are really like fun and punchy.
sonically. Windows down, sunny day, having an absolute fucking blast with this one.
Right, like there's a run there from Uncooked through Dead End Friend that is absolutely fucking insane for that type.
Yeah.
I think this band does an incredible job of like navigating like those emotions throughout this record and knowing how to like separate them so you don't get like stuck in one place for too long.
They do some stuff like vocally on that track too that is reminiscent to me of something that someone like the 1975 might pull, with like a lot of like post-production on the vocals. Just a neat song in general. I think the coolest thing this record has going for it is it's just a lot of variety. There's 3, 4, 5 tracks on here that don't sound anything like other tracks on here, which is always a great thing. And overall, I mean, again, 2024, and I just heard a 4 Year Strong album that I'm very high on.
It's phenomenal, honestly. Like start to finish, I just truly enjoyed it a lot. We're glad to be back. Once again, if you're a patron, you can stick around for SOTS Deluxe. Patreon.com/SOTS podcast, only $3 a month. See you next week.
Good luck.